Hey DeRusso with Majestic Riding. Okay, so let's talk about softness with your hands again. Hopefully I don't have gloves on so you can see my fingers. So if I want him to bring his head down, which I had to teach him to do, they don't naturally do that, most of them don't. I'm going to put pressure on the reins, both reins. Now he's not paying attention. So pressure on both reins. When he does it, I'm going to relax my fingers, my arms go a little forward. Watch that bit. See a little loop in his rein? So I'm not holding him the whole time unless he was, being too fast. And then I still wouldn't hold him. I would give him take, just not as much. But if I ask him to round himself out because I'm trying to collect him or he needs help getting in gait, but then I'm going to release on the reins. What I see a lot of problems with is people hold, the horse pulls, they pull more, the horse pulls, they pull more, the horse pulls, then the horse gets pissed off and throws his head and yanks the reins out of his head. So this is a communication. So the other problem, people ride with too loose a rein and then there's no communication at all except when something happens and they go to grab the reins and then they yank on the horse's mouth. So when you're riding them, this is your communication, and some of you need to help your horse more than the other horses. So you might have to use your half halts, squeeze and relax more than a horse that can actually collect himself more. Some of these walking horses really need a lot of collection to get under themselves. Some of them are more short strided, don't have that big stride, and they don't. The Rocky Mountains, Spotted Saddles, Paso Finos, ones with that less of a bit back end, you might be able to collect them and they might be able to hold themselves. So again, when you're riding, it's put pressure on, but then once they slow down for a second or bring their head down, whatever you're asking them to do, then release. So what I don't like seeing people do is hanging on the horse the whole time when they're riding on the trail or in the arena, and then they take a break and they're holding them like this while they're chit-chatting and relaxing, but that bit is pulling on that horse's mouth the whole time. When I take breaks, I hold it on the buckle. This is the buckle. That's why they call it hold it on the buckle. And I'm ready that if something happened or he spooked, I could pick up, grab those reins, and put it back in two hands. So if you don't know how to do that, it's good to practice that. To pick up on the buckle, grab the reins with one hand, and then you're back to two hands again. So you want to let that horse relax. Cash wants to say yes, we want to relax. You want to let them stretch their neck. It's very hard for a horse to go hours upon hours with their head curled in and their mouth cranked on. It's not very comfortable. And sooner or later they're going to complain. But if you give and take with them, then it's going to be much better. That rein connection, again, some people are on a totally loose rein. This is your telephone to your horse. This is telling your horse what I need you to do. I need you to slow down a little bit. That's good boy, and then you give your release. You might say, well, I need you to back up a little bit. So I'm going to put a little pressure to tell him which direction to go, and then I'm going to add a little leg till he figures it out and backs up. Some of us expect too much, and if that horse doesn't react in 1 second, they're on the horse beating them up. That's not fair. It takes a while for this connection with my hand or my leg to get to that horse's brain. It doesn't take 10 minutes, but it could take, some of the duller horses, it might take a little bit longer, or if they're not so smart. The quicker horses, it'll register to their brain quicker. So when you're riding with a soft hand, it just means you're not hanging on that horse. Now I'm going to back up so you can see me. I use other things to help me to control the horse. So I'm going to get his head down, then I'm going to leave him alone because I'm sitting here talking to you. So I relax my leg so the horse knows I want to slow down. I relax my buttocks, my seat, so they slow down. I don't grip with my thighs. A lot of us are used to holding on with our thighs because we rode the trotting horses, but with the gaited horse, you don't have to hold on with your thigh. You can just sit there. So sometimes that horse is going too fast because you're holding with your legs and you don't realize it because you're trying to hold on. But once you realize you can just balance yourself over these gaited horses, a lot of them will calm down. I use my breathing, like yoga breathing, which you'll hear on a lot of my videos if you look back. That breathing they will feel, just like when you're round pen them, if you take a deep breath in and out, a lot of them will slow down. So they can feel it from very far away, so of course they can feel it when you're on their back. But they have to learn not to ignore you, that's a signal to them. So if you breathe, relax your body. I tell some people they're so upright like this, and then they're tensing their butt, look at his face, tensing their butt and the back, relax a little bit, slump. Just kind of sit there. Sometimes when the horse is really goey and you put someone on the horse who doesn't really have much clue how to ride, they sit on the horse, they're just totally relaxed. and they're just flopping the reins or doing whatever, and you see the horse slows down. The horse all of a sudden is not very Goey because they're not trying to run away from that pressure. They're relaxed. The person up there is relaxed, so the horse becomes much calmer. But you have to learn how to do that. And a lot of people are always blaming the horse. He pulls too much. He's too fast. He's too competitive. They are to a point. They are who they are. That's their personality. But we also add to it. The horse mirrors us. So if we're tense, but we don't think we're tense, the horse gets tense. So I always tell people, you got a death grip on the horse. Your seat's too tight, and they're always denying it. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. And then I get on the horse, and I'm relaxed, and the horse goes totally fine. And they go, well, it's just because you're a trainer and you get off. It's no, I have a calming effect. It's a calm dominance. And so I take over charge, but I'm calm. And so then they trust me, and they relax, and then they let me be the boss. But if you're tense, or they think you don't know what you're doing, they want to get away from you. They want a leader who can actually help them. So with those hands, try to be soft. Use your seat, your balance, your breathing to help them to slow down. Also your reins, of course, but try not to hang on the horse. Be aware. And then also, a lot of times I use my colored reins so people can see where they're holding on. Because if your horse is getting crooked, a lot of times you're holding one rein shorter than the other. And that's why the horse is cocking its head. Sometimes it's not, but then you can tell the difference, like, oh, I'm holding the same spot, but he's still doing something crazy with his neck, so you might need some help straightening that horse out by having a trainer help the horse, or a chiropractor adjust the horse, and that can make a big difference.